And welcome back to coverage here of Pro Tour Final Fantasy. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe. I'm with Paul Cheon. We're in the booth indoors, outdoors in Las Vegas. It's getting warm, but check it out. Heating up in the line to get into the convention here. Magic Con Vegas, it is popping off in here, Paul. We walked through to get over to where we broadcast the Pro Tour, and it is hype. So many people, so much going on, but we're focused on high-level competitive play. If that's what you're into, you came to the right place. We've got our first round of draft for day 2 lined up for you. We just saw Christian draft his deck. He's going to be playing against Jody, Keith, and as you can see, this is Pod 1. These records are insane. 8-0 versus 7-1. So these are players who woke up this morning thinking of a top 8 chance. Take a look at Christian's list one more time in case you're just joining us. He's primarily green-red. He's got a little splash for Omega and Quistis Trepe. And as you can see, he's kind of a big mana deck with the ring and a little bit of ramp from the Goo Gardener. On the other side of the table, oh, look what Jody drafted.
What a brew.
17 swamps, and there's only really one reason to do that in this format, and that's Zodiarch Umbral God you see over there. But, you know, I'm looking at the list here, Paul. There's not a lot of filler here. Normally, if you try to go monocolored, you kind of have to fill in the gaps. This isn't too bad.
Yeah, I mean, the only things that stand out to me as filler are cards like the Iron Giant here and the Forayer there, the 3 mana in the 3 mana slot.
You didn't even want to try it.
I am not going to Q-Trub, sure. But outside of that, I mean, look at the top end. We have Summon Anima, Summon Primal Odin, one of the best rares in the entire set. Zodiarch is obviously a fantastic card as long as you can cast it here, but decent mana curve, a little bit lacking in interaction, I want to say, but he also got the Sephiroth.
Yes.
That was open.
Sephiroth Fabled Soldier, Jekt. And then Golbez Clad in Darkness, that's Sir Conrad, right?
Sir Conrad. Imagine getting past a Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Right? One of the best rares in the entire set.
I want to know, by the way, where that Zodiarch came to Jody, because, you know, this is actually a real thing. I'm not kidding. Like, this looks kind of like a meme deck, but, like, if you can get enough playables, Zodiarch on 5 is actually really powerful.
Right. And hey, look, there are upsides. You never get mana screwed, right? Like, you never get color screwed, rather. You're always going to have the swamps. Look at Christian's hand. It's all forests, and he can't cast half of the cards in his hand.
Yeah.
If Jody draws 3 swamps, he can just play everything.
Okay, we see the Undercity Dire Rat hit. And Forest for Baker, no plays. In for 2 comes Jody Keith. And he's got Shinra Reinforcements as a follow-up.
Okay, he's got Fight On to go with it, although it looks like he milled the Fight On.
He did, but he didn't mill the Zodiarch, so that dream is still alive.
Right.
He doesn't have it in his hand, however.
He also has a nice combination. Summon Primal Odin obviously doesn't need any help, right?
Baker's on 3 forests still, and he drew another one. Can't cast anything.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't have kept this hand. There's no shot you should keep 3 forests, can't play anything.
Right, especially when you have like a card like Sabatender in your hand that really needs to be on 2 to even be half of a Magic card.
Yeah.
Here's Lionheart, but that is going to kill the Dire Rat and produce a treasure.
But Jody has a deadly dispute, so you can actually
save the rat.
Well, not save it, but sack it.
Or sack it, I mean?
To draw cards because, yeah, just to draw some cards.
Heck yeah, he is.
Yeah.
2 cards and a treasure, actually 2 treasures.
Right.
Right, one from the rat, one from the dispute.
Now, probably not going to...
Zodiarch?
That would be great. Probably not playing out the Summon Primal Odin yet. Noting that there is a nice little combo, by the way. Summon Primal Odin plus Vincent's Limit Break is a combination.
Oh.
Either through combat, right? You save it and then it comes back. Oh my gosh, he drew Sephiroth.
Wow, I was just going to say it's actually kind of a bummer because he's got Limit Break and Primal Odin, but he has lots of action. In fact, he can go Trader into Sephiroth if he wants here.
Yeah, why not, right? Just add to the board, put a lot of pressure.
Yeah, what is a mono green guy going to do? Sweep you?
Do you even care if the Sephiroth dies? Like, you're still fine. You want to just add more to the board when your opponent's stuck on lands.
The Deadly Dispute you cast? That gives you 1 treasure.
There's Deadly Dispute.
It's on the creature. Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure. Cool. Thank you, guys.
I think they were just double checking about the double treasure there. And there it is, the perfect curve. If Christian doesn't find a red source here, I think we're just done.
I mean, if Christian just plays a creature here.
Or a green source.
Right, but Jody has Summon Primal Odin, so Fat Chocobo down and you still get a good attack, and I think this one's just over.
This was a pretty good illustration of the mana point that you made, Paul. It really kind of played out that way. Hey, 2 monocolor decks fighting it out. What's wrong with that, right? There's Summon Primal Odin.
Beat down.
Smash.
And then that'll trigger.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, Sephiroth triggers off of anything dying.
Yeah.
It's so strong.
It's
you don't
so
even
strong.
need the flip effect for the card to be very, very strong.
No, it's very good. Everybody.
You could sack the treasure here on the
Yeah,
it's just
and
over.
Christian's like, you know, you could think about combat, or I could just scoop him out. That's game
Right.
number 1 going to Jody Keith in short order.
yeah,
That was a needed to get lucky style keep there from Christian Baker, and unfortunately for him, he did not.
Yeah, you just have to mulligan that hand. This one looking a lot better. Mountains and forests with the 3 and a 4.
Yeah, and if you do float out a little bit, the summon GF Frit will help mitigate. Okay, Undercity Dire Rat for Keith, go.
Okay,
There's
right.
GF Frit, and the land goes away.
Jody's a little flooded here, just all swamps and the salvagers.
Fight on,
Okay.
a nice way to reload late game, but you know, I think a lot of times people substitute it as a card draw spell.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
I think if you are specifically Golgari, you can consider it, right? Because you have so many ways to mill yourself, and you have so many creatures. But in other color combinations, it's something that you play really late. Treat it like it's a 6-drop.
Right. A 6-drop that just costs less.
Right.
Okay. 4, and this is going to be Thunder Magic. Sure. So just kind of normal 1-for-1-y fighty stuff here happening.
Wait, how do you get the? Did you get an extra red mana? What happened?
What did you see?
Isn't it Chapter 2? Chapter 2 is Rummage, not, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
And then Choco Comet for 2?
No, it was Thunder Magic.
Oh, it's Thunder Magic, excuse
Yeah.
me. I saw the Choco Comet. Yeah, that makes sense. There it is.
Yeah, he's saving that one up
Yeah.
for when he gets that red mana.
Oh, there's the filler card that we
Q-Trub for air.
yeah, the forayer here that we outlined earlier. So now you get the extra mana. Does he have a fat Chocobo here?
Or does he just want to Comet?
The 3/2?
And he could just get in another hit. Oh,
No.
yeah, there is a Summon Fat Chocobo. However, that's much better. You want to save that Comet for last. It also allows you to use it as a win condition,
Oh
as
my
you
goodness.
can target the opponent.
Absolutely. I have lost my fair share of Choco Comets for 7 to the face.
I've got a secret for you, Paul. It's called Syncopate. I'll teach you later. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to teach me about counterspells?
Yeah. 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 It's complicated. You'll get it there eventually.
All right.
The flood is real here for Jody Keith.
Really?
4 swamps in hand now, just nothing going. Now we're starting to get up into, we're going to need to see a Zodiark off the top, some Primal Odin off the top, like one of these kind of more expensive, powerful, a much smaller subset of cards
Yeah.
is going to be needed.
I imagine here we're going to see a Lionheart targeting the Forayer into an equip onto the bird token, and all of a sudden you just have 2 clean attacks here.
You get to attack for 8.
And if you play a land, it's 9.
Right, because there's that mana floating.
Yeah.
Christian also didn't want to say the name of the card. He said 3/2.
The 3/2.
Yeah.
All right.
Land?
Yeah. Hit
Land?
for 9.
Land? There was a land? Okay.
There was a land. And yeah, the bird token on the right is currently at a 5/3 trampler this turn. So just no great blocks here for Jody. Needs something like a Summon Primal Odin or a Zodiark off the top.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those. Short list of cards. Even cards like Sephiroth at this point aren't going to get it done.
But the thing is, if Jody takes it here, he goes on the 6th. We are firmly in Choco Comet to the face range.
Oh, totally. Yeah, if he takes it all, then Christian's just going to hold it until it's lethal.
He just needs 1 more land.
Right, and you're right, and he also will lean on
5,
his.
9, just 6.
He needs 2 more lands, is that right?
So Jody's at 6, right? He has a land in hand. So that would be a Comet for 5. So he just needs to find 1 more land off the top to do a Choco Comet for 6.
Gotcha. In 2 turns, I get you. Did he find Zodiark? No. He does get to leverage Fight On to rebuild his board and try to get some blockers going.
Right.
But Christian has a very good game plan here. And there's that land too. Is he able to finish here? I mean, he can just send...
Should probably be able to. Let's see. You play another land. This is
everything has trample.
This is an attack for 9.
He needs to get it for 1.
There is 7 toughness on the battlefield, right?
So that's
so that's game. But what you need to do is cast the Comet first, because the Salvagers has drain triggers. Right? So and your opponent's tapped out. So if you just go land, Comet you for, what is it, 5?
Yeah.
You're at 1, attack you with everything. Trample happens before the Salvager's triggers actually goes off. I mean, there's a million ways to win this game.
Right. Christian's just making sure. This is, of course, you know, table 1 at the PT.
Right.
This is where you take your time and just go, okay, this all works, right?
It's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 toughness, 9 power, 2 damage at least gets through. Choco Comet for 5, 2 plus 5, 7.
Trigger.
Oh, okay,
Well,
sure.
It's going to do it backwards. It may still be lethal.
It might still be lethal, just given how you have to move around the blockers here.
Yes.
So let's see. The thing is, the Fat Chocobo is going to die next turn. So if you can just find some way to just keep your life total as high as possible, not too bad. And Jody's not going to be playing around the Comet here. It's just like, that just kills me anyways. So.
Right. And so he's trying to mitigate this board and say, well, if I'm still alive, you don't have a bird, and your Fat Chocobo goes away, then the trigger doesn't do anything, and you don't have a board, and maybe I could find some way to come back.
Yeah, it really does not. It really does not matter how he orders this at this point, because 4 damage is coming through on the left, even if he kills 2.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if he kills 2 creatures,
it's 2 triggers.
Oh yeah, 2 triggers.
He's taking 4.
He's taking 4, so he's at 4. So it doesn't really matter.
Jody's like, oh.
He could have just fired that off in the beginning. Just to get
that's where you drop it on the table and go, oh, sorry, and then he goes, yeah, you're good.
Shall we go to game 3?
Yes. By the way, when people do that, make them cast it.
How much?
Yeah. Yeah, X equals. All right, it looks like Jody's putting a card back, so that's a 6-card opener for Jody Keith on the play. Christian's on 7 here in game number 3.
So there's a card we don't know about Jody's hand.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, you're saying we haven't...
We saw there were only 5 cards up on the screen.
Gotcha. Okay, side quest race Chocobo.
Okay.
Good start.
Yeah, he would be very happy to trade here to get that eject online, because he does not have land number 4 here.
Man.
You ever get hit by eject?
No way.
Or you ever hit somebody with eject?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my. It is not fun.
Don't let them do that. And yeah, interestingly, Christian doesn't want to trade either.
Yeah, but you kind of have to now. It's like you're taking a lot of damage, and now we see eject. And
wow, with no board?
Yeah, it's like Christian needs a suplex or a thunder magic here to deal with this. And Lionheart's not going to do it, so we're going to see potentially a flip eject here.
Christian's reading eject.
Oh, no.
I know you want to flip it.
Yeah, you do.
You are correct.
Sacrifice 2 creatures of their choice. Those are the way fun stuff.
The first 2 chapters are each opponent discards a card and you draw a card, and chapter 3 is each opponent sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice.
Yeah.
And by the way,
it's not symmetrical.
By the way, it's a 7/7 menace. So this is all like, it should start off with an asterisk that says, assume you're still alive. Then you get to discard cards and lose your board.
Christian, did you find a removal spell here?
Suplex,
it's got menace, so a creature doesn't do it.
Nope.
Yeah, this is not great. I think, what do? You just Lionheart up the 2/2? Okay,
what
just play a ramp. The Dire Rat.
Just kill the Dire Rat?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
All right.
6 flip this.
Oh, so much good news
It must
on the
be
other
so
side
exciting
of that card,
to flip
Jody.
that thing.
Who needs Zodiark anyway?
How can a red-green deck kill a 7/7? Right? It's so hard.
That is just wild.
Yep.
This is one where it gets exiled and comes back, so you do get to block with it too. Not that it's relevant here.
Right. I suppose you can tap it down with the ring.
Yeah, you can keep the 7 damage from coming in, but you're going to lose your your hand. You can hold off on casting creatures to not lose those, and just hope that Jody doesn't have any more power or toughness to put on, because if he does, you're not going to be able to keep up with everything.
So Jody should just kind of play what he can. Although, given that he's got the summon anima, might not want to sack the treasure here to play the Shinra's reinforcements.
I think I would, but because how is Christian supposed to handle 3 2/2s and 1/1s or whatever, and his hand getting destroyed, and the fact that he realistically can't cast anything, and he's got to pay life to keep the 7/7 at bay? That's just you're just throwing too much at him.
That being said, here Choco Comet, little late.
Did a good job in game 2.
Yeah. If you were on the play and you had it, you would have been able to kill it there on your turn 5.
Tap upkeep?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna light up the stage.
What?
Light up the stage?
In a sorcery?
Sorcery.
Oh, oh god. Okay. Well, guess I'm not doing that.
Okay.
It's trigger? Yeah.
It wouldn't really help any. I mean, it's
Right.
like those cards get exiled, so you still just have to ditch something. I guess you get rid of it now.
That's tough because now you're not doing anything, right? Like you're basically
tapping.
all you're doing is taking a damage to tap down the flip eject, and then you're still taking 3 more damage. You're discarding cards.
Combat.
Yeah, this is a tough spot here now for Christian.
Take it for 3. Yep. 6.
Kind of explains why he took it so early. It's a little better if it's an instant.
Right? Yeah. Oh, summon anima.
Sure.
I lose life and draw a card. Down to 19. 19 is 6.
It's way
Wow,
too much.
Jody Keith cruising to the victory here. Mono black Zodiark, don't even need it.
Right. We'll see it one day.
But this means you can't.
But the check does go
going
away. Yeah, so that bird token will die.
Bird's dead. Yeah, you're hanging on by a thread here. Wow.
Okay, so add 6 now. Going down to 3.
At 3.
This is where just power and toughness is the name of the game.
Now you just go trader into reinforcement.
Yeah,
just play
trader, sack
everything.
the treasure, and just because it's not like they're going to sweep you here with no board.
Gain 3 life, so
Okay,
plus 2, 21. And
Mill 3. GG. Wow. Jody Keith putting the beat down on, is able to ride Ject to victory. I do not see a way out here for Christian Baker.
This is just... Yeah, there's just nothing you can do.
Thumping.
Yeah. And Jody has so many mono black kind of bombs. You have the Ject, you have the Primal Odin, you have the Sephiroth.
Yep. And don't
and
forget
you have
Zodiark.
the Ject. Yeah, and the Zodiark. Yeah. He's got 4 great black rares.
Jody Keith drafts mono black at table 1 of the PT.
Look,
and it's going to get him across the line here to improve to 8-1. And there's the handshake. Wow, we have to see how Jody ends up doing with this. We're going to be keeping an eye on that for sure. This is not normal.
No.
You know, it is uncommon to see somebody pull a move like this. You know, that is the one card Zodiark that kind of nudges you in that direction. And it is interesting because, like, if you open it and you flag that, and you start taking black cards, like, it is coming back. Nobody wants that card.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this format, we were talking about how balanced the format was and how important it was to know how to draft all 10 color pairs, all 10 archetypes. Well, I guess we didn't consider the 11th archetype,
right,
which are the mono-colored archetypes. And of course, Zodiark is absolutely the reason to do so. I mean, Jody Keith is no stranger to limited success. Actually got 2nd at the Spotlight Series in Denver as well. So really cool to see a deck like this. It's not just kind of, you're not just memeing, you're actually able to put it together and do well at the highest level of competition, which is just awesome to see.
And it's what you said, you know, the 10 archetypes, then we talked about Sultai, but if you go really deep on a format, this mono black deck is actually, I'm not joking, like, it is a thing. You don't see it very often, but 1 out of 100 drafts it comes together, and if you don't know how to draft it, you just go, hey, I'm playing Zodiark. Jody, he did. So we've got more Magic action to bring you here. We have Ken Yukuhiro versus Toni Portolan, and both of these players are also sitting at 7-1. They're in that second group, although, you know, now we just have 2 8-1s up at the top. Let's
Boros
take a look.
again.
Oh, here we go. Ken Yukuhiro, he does like to beat down. You see Gilgamesh at the top there.
Oh, how many equipment are we looking at here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hits with Gilgamesh.
Okay, so that's
you play that thing, you probably just win the game.
So this is on theme, right? Double weapons vendor, Ash, like Adelbert Steiner, like everything here is all about making equipment good. That's a very scary deck. Let's see. Oh, Tony's going the other direction here. Blue, black with double travel the overworld. All right, what's the early removal look like? That's all you really need to look at here.
I mean, I think the most important card in this matchup is the double Xenos, right? If Ken Yukuhiro just floods the board with a bunch of 2-mana 2/2s, you play one of those. I mean, that is the key card here to allow you to come back.
This is going to be really interesting matchup. It's also a classic control versus aggro. Let's see what happens here. We're going to pop in on game number 3. Toni and Ken have split the first games. Oh, I love matchups like this. These have a lot of tension because Ken gets out to the early lead, generally speaking. Toni fights for his life, and then you get to see if Toni can push it back in his direction or if Ken can find the win. These are the best types of games in Limited.
Marshall.
What do you see? What do we got?
Ken's got the Gilgamesh in his hand.
Oh, geez. Does he have lands? It does look like it.
It does look like it. I mean, that seems, it is the best card in Ken's deck.
Definitely.
And especially against a control shell, too. If you can resolve that thing, Ken's going to probably hit like 2 or 3 cards off of that.
There's Hectize now for Toni.
Which is a land. Okay. Oh, it has a lot of lands in hand, actually. But, you know, in a matchup, honestly, that has 2 copies of Xenos, it might not even be ideal to just run out just a really good natural curve.
That is true. Who's aggressive now, Ken?
Oh, Yuffie!
Hectize in there, and then Ninjutsu is going to happen. Wow, with a Hectize, too?
As you can see there. Yuribo.
Reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value.
Excellent card.
19.
And balancing a Hectize.
When you pick up Hectize, that is just gnarly.
So much value.
The good news is for Ken, it was just a land.
He does have the removal spell here. It's interesting because he's got the Warrior Sword too, which is a better use of your mana. But if Toni kills the token and gets another hit with the Yuffie, it's kind of rough. Yeah, I like this.
Have to take
Ken's the control player now.
Yeah, and that is not where he wants to be. Though, with Gilgamesh in hand, that does give him the ability to basically produce a board state out of nowhere. Yep. We see retrieve the Esper, so that's going to make a 3/3.
He gets the mountain, so he has the mana, Marshall. He has the mountain. I am so excited for the next turn.
Does he have a land?
He does have another land.
So his hand is land Gilgamesh?
I think. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Okay,
he needs to find a land.
He'll have to rip any land off the top of the library for Gilgamesh.
By the way, it's also an attack trigger. So there's an enter the battlefield trigger. We already saw, by the way, yesterday, we saw Ken cast this and get 2 Warrior Swords off of it to kind of win the match. We'll see if he can one-up this.
So he's playing the same game. There's a land off the top. It's a mountain for Ken Yukuhiro, and it is that time. Here's Gilgamesh. First, does it resolve?
Oh, does he have a counterspell? I don't think
so.
I saw one.
I don't think so. So here we go. He gets to look at 6 cards. Any equipment are going to get put onto the battlefield.
1. Oh, just 1.
Okay.
Not too bad. I mean, it's
White
still...
Mage's Staff.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, if Gilgamesh survives, an attack will do that too.
Yeah, it's still an attack trigger as well. Ken could have actually attacked too if he wanted with the 4/3. Oh, Gilgamesh down. So only the White Mage is going
to kill it. And I got to say, if I'm Toni, I feel like I got away with something there. That could have been way worse.
Right.
And Ken's down to 1 card, so I believe, no, the Hectize is what he sacrificed. So.
Oh, now are we going to see a flipped Xenos? Just needs to kill the token here. And all of a sudden, when that thing flips, it's an 8/8 flyer.
Yep.
Okay, another
with the next card off.
Yeah,
or maybe he had it in his hand, but yeah, that's a bummer. Warrior's Sword.
So remember, one of these Warrior Sword tokens has been targeted by the Xenos, the one on the left. So if Toni does have a way to kill that, we will see a flipped Xenos. Making a 5/5 makes sense.
And Ken has to kind of work around that other token now because he doesn't want it to die.
Right. I suppose, yeah, it's a 4/3, so you don't want to attack it into the 3/3 token.
Right.
So that is a 5/4 currently on the right. I mean, Toni also has another Retrieve the Esper in the graveyard, so can also just choose to make a 5/5 here. So this is certainly, things are looking good here. And he's at 20 life. Like, Ken did not have an aggressive start here.
Not even close. It was really kind of all about Gilgamesh, and that missed.
Yeah.
And to me, that was Ken's chances of winning this match going a much lower. Not 0, but.
Right.
But if he hit like 3 equipment, it's like, okay, we're back in the game.
Yeah. Now,
but he hit 1 2-drop. It's not going to quite do it. All right, that is going to be Retrieve the Esper here.
If Ken can maybe find some kind of removal spell here, maybe like if he has something like a Slash of Light, right, to deal with the Xenos, then he can maybe suit up 1 token, force some bad blocks, get in for damage. You do have tons of mana sinks in play with those 3 equipment.
Right, and then any body left over is just dump mana into it, start turning it sideways.
Exactly.
But now there's a 5/5, a 3/3, and a 4/4 for Toni, and there's
Right.
the marker, by the way.
The
for
target.
Xenos. Yeah. I mean, like, are they friends temporarily, or is it just I'm saving you for later?
I think they're dueling, no?
They're dueling? Okay. I don't know.
They're 1v1ing each other. That's the... I don't think Ken minds... So Ken can attack with that creature on the right, and I think he's okay trading his 1/1 hero token, I guess, right? If you just look at the stats of the token with the 5/5. But if he does, Toni can crack back for lots and lots of damage. Okay, game 1. Oh, Toni
5/4.
5/4.
5/4.
So that's a trade.
Double block. But if he has Fate of the Suncrist now, he can
Yeah.
kill the
right.
5/5 and then,
You just
okay.
lose the 3/3. At any rate,
Sure. Now you can move everything back to the other thing, or do you have another creature? Okay, Paladin's Arms.
that's actually pretty important here.
Yeah. And now that's a 4/3 with Ward 1.
It's 2020.
So now Ken has to kind of hope that Toni just finds so many lands.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Because we did see Toni play Retrieve the Esper last turn, and that was like fine, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe you could have seen a double spell turn or something, and it wasn't that. It's huge.
It's just big. The other line of text doesn't really matter for the purposes of one-on-one limited.
Yeah. I did read it and go, wait. Wait, that's how it normally is. It's kind of like when cards say for us limited players, you can have as many copies as you want. I'm like, oh, wait.
Right.
I already had that.
What was Toni splashing white for?
Let me take a look. I actually have deck lists around here somewhere.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, he answered the
Fate
question.
of the Suncrist kills the token, and now cracking in. The Xenos has now flipped into an 8/8 flyer and attacking for 11 here. It's a 2-turn clock.
He's also got a Magic Tech armor
Okay.
that he's splashing for.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Life comes at you fast when you're facing down an 8/8.
So if you take the 11 here, you go to 9, and then if you attack, you go to 10. So if you play a follow-up creature, you still don't just straight up die to the flyer. If you have something to block the 3/3 token, and then you can crack back as well. But
Nope.
okay.
Taking it. And there's
Does
lots
Ken have like a Zidane or something? That would be incredible,
Oh,
right?
jeez. I'll look.
Just threatened.
Don't even say that. No.
All right. Lock Cole, also a fantastic card here. Graha Tia, which might just be entering the abyss here. Might have to just block to chump. It's got reach.
It does have
The
reach.
issue is when the Graha Tia dies itself, it doesn't draw you a card. It's only when other creatures and artifacts die. And now this is a +1/+1 counter on the 8/8 flyer. So now this is 100% lethal. It's a 100% forced block.
And if Toni can find any interaction,
absolutely
we
right,
could just call it a game. This is very much Toni going for it. This one's coming in. Is there room for Lock Cole to get frisky? No.
I think just eat the Grahatia, be happy with that.
Oh, geez. How about just draw 6 cards plus your draw step this turn?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's got to be over. You're still at 20 life here.
And behind on board is
right.
Yukuhiro. And that is going to do it. Toni Portolan wins one for the control players. Takes down what looks to be, I would not be shocked at all if Ken ends up 2-1.
Yep.
With that deck. I mean, that deck is awesome.
I mean, Toni's deck also looks incredible. Oh, right?
I'm to the moon, Toni.
Yeah,
it
looks like they both. They're just like, hey, like, let's make kind of block constructed decks. You make a control deck, and I'll make a red-white equipment deck with Gilgamesh at the top end. So
yeah.
Both decks look really, really nice. I mean, you know, if you're drafting kind of a slower control deck, sometimes the Boros aggro decks can be a problem. But he's got the 2 copies of the Xeno. So now, if Toni, I mean, he's playing, I think, multiple copies of Travel the Overworld. If he plays against other slow decks, he's also probably got that matchup. He's got to be feeling good about how his deck's shaping up, considering he already beat the Boros player.
That's right. And that was a good Boros deck with a great player behind it, too. So onward goes Toni. And an early loss there for Ken Yukuhiro. We've got more limited action to bring you here. We've got Allan Fong versus Connor Mackenzie. You can take a look at them here. Both at 7-1.
1996. Yeah.
Let's go, Allan.
Next year will be his 30th anniversary. Magic the Gathering.
We're coming in here in game number 2. With Connor Mackenzie, take a look at him there. He's up a game.
All right, curious to see what they've brought here. Is Allan mulliganing to 5?
Yes.
Ooh, well.
Table Delta, start of game 2.
Not ideal here. Does lead with a blue-red land, which I think many people's favorite archetypes. Going up against the turn 1 Saz's Chocobo on a mold of 5. And that is tough.
That is tough. And it is white-green for Connor Mackenzie. And it's red-blue for Allan. There are many answers for the Saz's Chocobo for a short window.
Right.
And Allan will need to find one.
Doesn't seem to have one. Is that a Torgal? What a start.
Jeez. A fine hound.
Premium uncommon into premium uncommon here against an opponent who has mold 2/5.
Gonna cycle a Helgigas here and go try to set something up.
Yeah. But clearly didn't have a removal spell there, right? A Thunder Magic would have been great, or a Suplex. Would have fired either of those off immediately.
Well, there's that mountain. Oh, mountain go from Allan?
All right.
Are the land drops going to continue to flow here for Connor? That's the first question.
Right.
And the answer is, yep.
Allan does have a cool one in hand. Not going to be too impactful now, but Cypher Almasi. Yeah, very nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Does Connor have a human to play here off the Torgal? Get that nice little +1/+1 counter. Well, you know he's going to spend the mana. Didn't attack with the Torgal.
Man, you know, Allan has a copy of Fire Magic in his list, and
it is a human, right?
There.
Snowvilliers. Wow,
it is.
What kind of curve is this?
We said it was a fine hound.
Look at this.
One of the
That's
finest.
a 4/4 right now.
Wow.
A mighty fine hound. This is ridiculous.
Land number 4 for Fong.
So now you can play the Cypher, and that gives you a 3/4 blocker, which lets you kind of block everything but the Villiers. The Chocobo would be a 3/4 with a land here, so.
Yeah, having done nothing this game of consequence, this is a inflection point where if Connor has some way to interact with Cypher, it's like GG.
Yeah, any combat track or removal spell here basically is game over.
There it is.
Yep.
Orisight. Yeah, it's just hard to imagine coming back from this. Again, there is a fire magic in the list here for Allan Fong, which could clear up a little bit. The
creatures are
turn.
Yeah, the creatures are far too big now.
But now they're too big.
Yeah, I guess Connor didn't have a land here.
Okay.
But fire magic does cost 6 mana, right?
To fully kick. But last turn there was
the 2/2
Fine Hound +1.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, that was it.
Yeah, that would have been big.
Dragoon's Wyvern. Looks a little small.
Yeah, just get some chump blockers out there. Now, Allan Fong does have a haste magic. I suppose you can use that to trade with the Villiers because that seems like it's the most problematic creature right now. And now Connor's got 5 mana available. White Orisight does tap for mana. Card has been extremely impressive. Unconditional removal for basically anything while also ramping you.
Very, very.
And also an artifact, right?
Yes.
What is that?
No.
Is it Dion? Oh my! What is this?
Is it really?
Is it really Dion?
Wow!
What on earth is this deck?
Are you kidding me?
Holy
This
cow.
is the curve, Connor? You thought this was fair?
Okay, you know,
Saws is like, how about try playing a common?
I'm just gonna tell you, Marshall, I personally haven't been doing too well when I draft green-white decks. Apparently, this is what you need to be doing.
We figured out the problem.
There it is.
Holy smokes. This is against Allan, who's on 5 and had to spend 3 turns just getting his mana under him.
What can we even do? This has got to just be over here. There's no big sweeper in blue-red. There's no Ultima type effect that could just kind of wipe the entire board here.
No, there's Nibelheim of Flame, but that's not going to work here.
He does have haste magic. Can you, like, Mountain, haste magic, Nibelheim of Flame?
And he doesn't have Nibelheim of Flame.
Oh, well, look. We can, yeah.
And that's going to do it. Connor Mackenzie with a convincing victory, shall we say. Wow, that was a beatdown from Connor. And he gets to take what looks to be a really nice green-white deck forward.
That is, I mean, we talk about trophy decks that look like trophy decks, that look like they go 3-0.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of them. Dion is one of the best rares in the entire set. All the premium uncommon. Did he even play a common? Oh, yeah, he played White Orisight.
White Orisight,
the best white common.
Yeah, and everything else is uncommon or rare.
Oh, man.
Well, I guess we just need to learn how to draft those particular cards. I like Connor's chances there. Excellent deck. And hopefully Allan can get his feet under him there, as that was a beatdown.
Oh, it absolutely was.
At least there was no chance, no hope involved there, because, yeah, Connor improves. All right, that's going to do it for round 1 of draft here from Vegas. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be back at the news desk prepping for round number 2 of draft. Don't go anywhere.